Treyarch just released what's likely their last Zombies blog post update before next week's launch of Black Ops 6 Zombies. The blog post includes a look at the redesigned Zombies HUD, screenshots and gameplay of the new Liberty Falls atmosphere, as well as a full list of every single Gobblegum, augment, and piece of equipment coming to the game in the preseason. Before we get to the breakdown, if you're in the 91% of people, don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as considering hitting the notification bell for everything Black Ops 6 Zombies, as I'll be pumping out guides and content as soon as the game goes live next Thursday. With that out of the way, let's dive into the blog post. So Treyarch is choosing to lead off with probably the two most important things for this entire blog post, the things that people have been wanting to hear more about and see visually since the COD pod last week, which are the updates to the Liberty Falls atmosphere as well as the updates to the HUD itself. So we're going to be starting off here with the Liberty Falls. There are detailed, in-depth tours of Terminus Island and Liberty Falls, basically going over every single area on the maps. I won't spend too much time on those later, but they will give you a better look at what Liberty Falls is going to look like. We're just going to start with what they're providing here at the top of the blog post. So if you'd like to follow along, the link to the blog post will be in the description below, or if you just want to check out the images yourself, go down there. But starting with the Liberty Falls atmosphere change, it looks a little bit more gloomier than just your average sunny day in West Virginia. They've added an ether storm off the back behind the church. This actually appears to be either just outside of the graveyard or in the graveyard, so it's actually kind of interesting that they chose to put this basically like right on the map as opposed to like way off in the distance. They also are noting here that additional atmospheric elements related to the map's main quest will also be present throughout Liberty Falls as players begin to solve mysteries waiting for them in the wake of the undead incursion. What that means is that as you're doing the main Easter egg, the skybox and some other areas are going to change as well. So that was apparently always in the works. I don't know if they really were going to start that way with the overall atmosphere, but they are confirming here that as you do the Easter egg, the atmosphere will change as well. I guess similar to D Machine in a way, but not exactly the same. The next big major update is the HUD. Everyone's been asking for this since the initial gameplay reveal at COD Next. We do have some awesome confirmation and changes here up on screen now. You can see the new HUD. Again, keep in mind, guys, this is the default HUD. This is what you'll boot Black Ops 6 up to. This is how it'll look. They confirm here that visibility sliders allow players to fine-tune or completely disable additional HUD elements, including the score feed, medals, notifications, the minimap, weapons, and equipment information, plus more. So you will have complete control over the HUD, guys. What you're seeing right here is literally just how it's going to be day one when you boot up, and you can completely change everything. Obviously, they've added character portraits in the lower left corner. Whatever operator you are, you're going to be that character down in the bottom left, making it feel like zombies. We haven't seen that since Black Ops 4, so it's nice to have that return. As I just previously mentioned, you can pretty much customize everything here, so I'm assuming you can move that bottom left slider up a little bit on your screen and then move the perks over if you want in the middle of the game. If you want the middle of the screen, just vacant and like regular old zombies, then you can do that. Everything is customizable. It sounds like you can turn off everything to make it literally no HUD too if you wanted to do that. I don't know why you would go that far, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the HUD. There is one thing they're also additionally saying, that in-game Gobblegum reward animations have been added, which thank God, because when they did show that off at Liberty Falls for COD Next, it basically was just like the entire description of the Gobblegum in the top right corner as like a little notification. Almost looks like a Steam pop-up. So thankfully they've added an animation for that. That's super dope. Level of immersion. We love to see it. Big shout out to Treyarch for listening to all of our feedback, not only with the Liberty Falls skybox, but as well as the HUD. So super cool to see. Like I said, guys, you can change pretty much everything about this. So if you don't like how this looks right now, you can still mess around with it to your liking and turn off everything, even if you want that. If you were worried about the score feed, medals, notifications, minimap, all that stuff, it can be turned off. So much better in my opinion. Big shout out to Treyarch again for listening to the complaints. We're moving on to the section where they're going to detail basically every single area in both Terminus and Liberty Falls. I'm not going to spend too much time going over these just because I think it kind of ruins the immersion day one of being able to explore some of this stuff for yourself. I'll just go over like what these areas are and then put the pictures up to match as well so you guys can get a good feel for that. But I won't be like reading off every single area and every single like little detail. We'll just ignore that for now. So starting off with Terminus, we have the cells and guard station. This appears to be at the very top of the island. This is what we saw at the end of the initial Zombies trailer, and this is where it looked like you spawned in the gameplay that we got a couple months ago. Next, you'll be moving into the Security Overlook and Control Center. Again, if you've seen the gameplay for Terminus, you're basically going to be walking from the cells all the way down here. So just imagine you spawn up at the top of the island, and then you're making your way down through the Security Overlook and Control Center, down past the living quarters, storage, and mess hall. And then eventually, once you get to the C Tower, that's when it changes from the prison atmosphere more to like this research facility. It starts with the C Towers, and then you make your way down to the gun battery platform, which is the Ethereum trap that we've seen, the big cannon. This is going to be super fun to play around around with. I'm sure it'll play into high round strategies. One, because there's a lot of space there to train, but two, because you're probably going to be wanting to use the cannon. And then we make our way into the sea caves and mining tunnels. This is where it starts to get very interesting. You get very big Shangri-La vibes when you're walking through here. Super dope place to be. I know PhD is down there as well as a Gobblegum machine. It looks like there's an elevator as well, if you guys can catch that over there on the right side of this image. We'll see that elevator pop up again. That's something that I don't think was shown off in the initial gameplay, so it's super cool to see that you might be able to just take an elevator from the bottom of the map all the way to the top of the map. Moving into the biolabs, this was shown off I think the most in the gameplay. This is one of the coolest areas, if not the coolest area on the entire map. It's this big Project Janus research facility underneath and basically at the bottom of the island, so super dope, awesome area. Going to be fun to play around down here. Same thing with the inclined lift and the elevator. We saw the lift. This is where Pack-a-Punch is. It looks like it'll take you all the way up to the top of the island or wherever that little like half area is there. You can see the very top of those buildings we've seen before, kind of by the mess hall. And then this elevator, we didn't actually see this. I think we might have seen the area in the gameplay, but like we haven't seen anybody use this massive elevator yet. And it looks like it starts here at the bottom of the island and will take you all the way to the top back towards the prison cell. So it's nice that like maybe you can't use this right away, but as soon as you like turn on the power, open up Pack-a-Punch, you have the ability to hit this elevator and go all the way back to the top of the map if you want to get there instead of having to like run all the way around the map or even just taking a zip line. It's really nice to have something of such detail as this elevator. Lastly, for Terminus, we have the shipwreck. This is the same boat that was in MWZ in the last story mission, so I wonder if this has some sort of significance to MWZ in any sort of way. We'll just have to see. Obviously, we don't know it right now. And then we have the outer islands, which this is giving probably the most creepiest vibes out of the entire thing. This is like, it just seems like there's some sort of like ancient ruins and like stuff going on over here. I don't want to get too much into this. I don't want to read these entire descriptions. If you want to read it for yourself, you can in the description below. Again, the blog post is linked, but I don't want to spoil things for people that don't really want to know too much about it. It just looks like this is going to be some sort of either like boss fight area or there's going to be some secrets that are to be had on the outer islands. Moving on to Liberty Falls, of course, we have the Liberty Falls Recon, Almost Hell, West Virginia, a tour of Liberty Falls. The first shot here is the jet gun looking absolutely spiffy, going up against the spiders, which are really nice. Of course, we have the spawn area, which is the pump and pay. Here you can see more of a detailed overview of what Liberty Falls looks like now that the skybox has been changed. Again, much gloomier, more of like an outbreak happening. It's not like, oh, there's dark ether in the air. It's not like D-Machine dark ether levels, but it's definitely not sunny day West Virginia, which I think was a big gripe for a lot of people. I haven't seen anybody talking about this on Twitter yet. I'm just like literally doing this as an initial reaction breakdown. So I don't know how people are receiving this, but to me, I didn't really have an issue with it how it looked before. Now it's just giving you more of like a gloomy outbreak kind of feel, so I'm totally cool with this. But the pump and pay area, the gas station, we know is the spawn area. Pretty much in the spawn area as well, we have the motor lodge, which is the hotel. Again, I don't want to detail too much of this stuff. We have Ollie's Comics, which we did get a good peek at this in the initial gameplay at Liberty Falls. A lot of people were hitting the trap that's kind of giving Samantha Maxis over there. And then in one of these pictures, I didn't notice this earlier, but it looks like the dark ether storm is now moving. So I wonder if this is part of the atmospheric change during the Easter egg, if these like little storms, these clouds pop up in other areas around the map. But that originally looked like it was back by the church, and now it's over here by the comic book shop. Moving on to Fueler's Liberty Lanes. This is probably my favorite area of the map so far, aside from the church. This is where I'm going to be running my higher on strats and doing the camo grind here in this nice big bowling alley. Super dope vibe. Loving the Mr. Peaks on the wall. One of the most interesting places, I think, in Black Ops 6 Zombies so far. Next, we have the savings and loan. This is the bank. We saw this hit on heavily at COD Next. Multiple people were able to open the vault by finding 3 pieces of paper around the map. You were given like small rewards like salvage, sometimes weapons. I'm sure as the game progresses, when it's fully released, the rewards in there will be better, but the rewards were super underwhelming at COD Next. I'm sure they probably just didn't want to give people OP shit right off the rip like that. So there's probably some good stuff in the vault and Easter egg stuff in the vault that we just weren't able to see at COD Next. Of course, we have Holy Falls Church. This is probably the coolest place in the entire map, and honestly might be the coolest place in both maps. When you walk into the church, we all know it turns into the dark ether. It looks absolutely amazing from the outside and the inside. They did an amazing job. My Biggest hats off to Treyarch for finally finding a way to seamlessly transition from the overworld into the Dark Ether. I think it's really, really cool that they did that, so that you don't just have to like walk up to a portal, press it, and then teleport like we did on D-Machine and Outbreak and other places. It's super cool that they were able to find a way to just make this work and make it transition all at once rather than having to teleport too. Here you can see that Ether Storm over here back in the actual graveyard area. This is what I'm wondering is if this Ether Storm moves around the map and changes and as the Easter egg goes on, it like chases you around, or it gets bigger and grows and consumes the map. We'll just have to find out. The last thing they want to hit on here at Liberty Falls is the Alamo. We saw this multiple times. You zip line all the way to the top of this place. This is where the Wonder Fizz is. I'm pretty sure there's a crafting table up there too. So again, pretty dope. Nice little area. Probably going to be a little too hectic to train because it doesn't look like it's super open, but that's going to be your kind of one-stop shop for your perks. Moving on to the augments, I was not expecting to get this much detail. They're giving us screenshots of every single augment from their perks as well as their abilities. So, and it's not just the augments on the perks, it's on the field upgrades as well as the alternate ammo types too. So we're going to be detailing every single major and minor upgrade in this video. So if you were kind of confused in the augments like me before, the visuals they're giving us as well as my breakdown will hopefully help you understand what the augments are going to do for you as we get into the actual release of the game itself. So starting off here, we have the Perk-a-Colas, of course. We all know the main ones: Juggernog, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, Stamina, PhD, Flopper, Deadshot Daiquiri, Elemental Pop, and Melee Macchiato are the perks that will be available at launch. I'm sure there's probably going to be one coming in Season 1, like a month or two into the game. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but yeah, those are all of the perks. Of course, we're going to be starting with Juggernog. We all know the base ability of Juggernog is to increase your maximum health. The major augments for Jug are going to be Probiotic, which slightly increases maximum health, so I'm assuming like 1 or 2 extra hits. Turtle Shell, which armor acts as a shield on your back, completely absorbing damage to your back. No damage mitigation when hit from the front. So this is literally basically like having the zombie shield on your back. It sucks that we won't get to see it return like how we saw it in Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4, but if this is going to be an augment, that's definitely a nice way to kind of implement the shield without actually having to like put the shield in the game and take the time to code that and stuff, because I know it is kind of a hassle to do. The last major augment for Juggernog is the reactive camo. This is when armor plates break, nearby normal enemies are stunned for a short amount of time. Sounds like kind of an Electric Jerry, but with Juggernog crossover, so pretty cool there. Nothing too crazy. I think the best one's either going to be, probably Turtle Shell for Jug will be the best major augment in the game. The minor augments for Jug are Retaliation, which deals bonus damage when your health is low. Pretty cool. Hardened plates, armor plates have more damage mitigation, so again, you kind of just take more hits with the armor. Or durable plates, which slightly increases the armor durability. I actually don't know what the difference between those two are. We're going to keep it moving, but those sound to be similar things right there with the hardened plates and durable plates. Moving on to Stamina Up, we know it increases your movement speed. The major augments for Stamina Up are Free Faller, become immune to all fall damage. This one I saw earlier when I was skimming through this, and I don't really agree with them putting this on Stamina Up. I think becoming immune to fall damage should have definitely been a PhD augment. I haven't seen the PhD augments yet. I didn't get that far down into this. However, I just feel like kind of weird to have that on Stamina Up. Dasher, which is to increase tactical sprint duration. That one's really nice too. And then Stalker, which is walk faster when aiming. Might be good for the camo grind if you're using snipers. For the minor augments, we have Hard Target. While tactical sprinting, projectile damage is reduced. So if someone's throwing some meat at you or you're getting hit by a Mangler Cannon, I'm assuming that's going to decrease the damage done to you. Quarterback, which uses equipment while sprinting. And then Hot Foot, which is gain a speed boost after your equipment kills an enemy. So again, the minor one's not going to be as crazy as the major ones. For Speed Cola, obviously, reload weapons faster and replate armor faster are the main abilities. We saw this, it's the same as how it was in MWZ. The major augments for Speed Cola are Supercharged, which field upgrades recharge a bit faster. That one's very interesting because it really doesn't have anything to do with Speed Cola, but it could be really nice if you're running like Ring of Fire, if they ever add that back, or whatever the OP meta field upgrade is. Speed Cola, the augment for that would definitely be really nice. We have Classic Formula, which reload speed is even faster. That one might just be cracked out for weapons grinding and stuff. And then we have Phantom Reload, which weapon magazines are slowly refilled over time. For the minor augments, we have Speedy Roulette. The mystery box settles much faster. We've seen that multiple times now with Time Slip and the last Speed Cola ability in Cold War. Quick Swap, which is swap weapons faster. Cool there too. And then Fast Pitcher, which deploys equipment faster. Could be really nice for monkey bombs. Obviously, we know Deadshot Daiquiri's abilities are to improve your ADS precision and increase critical damage. RIP double tap. Not sure if that's ever going to come back, but yeah, definitely they're doubling down here with the increased crit damage on Deadshot. The first major upgrade for Deadshot is Deadhead, which further increases critical damage. So literally just are ripping Deadshot into the ground right there. It is not coming back unless they just do some sort of like double fire. But I mean, they've completely just now stripped double tap away, which is totally fine. I don't really mind it at all. Deadshot's a nice replacement and a good way to upgrade that perk. We have Dead First, which is deal double critical damage if an enemy is at full health. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Dead Again, which critical hits have a chance of adding a bullet to your magazine. So some interesting ones. I think the best one might be like Deadhead. For the minor upgrades for Deadshot, we have Dead Break, increases damage to armor pieces. Dead Draw, reduced hip fire spread. And Dead Set, which reduces gun movement while performing advanced movement. So again, some basic minor upgrades for these. Quick Revive, of course, recover regen health faster and revive allies faster. For the major augments on Quick Revive, we have EMT, which reviving an ally allows them to keep all of their perks on their bleed out bar. So that's actually really dope. That might be probably the best one for co-op. Equivalent Exchange, killing an enemy while down will revive you and remove Quick Revive. This can be done up to 3 times. Okay, so regular Quick Revive right there. Then we have Dying Wish, returns as a Quick Revive upgrade. On lethal damage, become immune to all damage for 2 seconds and keep 1 health. Quick Revive is removed on use. Wow, so it's interesting that they really nerfed Dying Wish there. Not only is it only 2 seconds of Dying Wish, you also lose Quick Revive too. So really, really good balancing right there to make it not too OP. And then for the minor upgrades, we have Swift Recovery, reviving an ally increases both of your movement speeds. We saw that in Cold War. Karmatic Return, reviving an ally heals you to full health. So that's super cool if you're trying to stick a revive in the boss fight. And then we have Slow Death, which is to increase your time in Last Stand. Nearing the end here on the perks, we still have Elemental Pop, PhD, and Melee Macchiato to go. With Elemental Pop, we know attacks can trigger random ammo mods. Major augments here, Citrus Focus. If a weapon has an ammo mod applied, Elemental Pop will only activate that one. So that one is very interesting, especially if you're using like Deadwire or any of the most OP alternate ammo types. You're basically like getting double AATs there with that augment. We have Imperil Peach. Enemies that hit you have a chance to trigger a random ammo mod. That's like the original OG Elemental Pop effect from Cold War. And then we have Electric Cherry. So it is returning. Very odd that there's a Juggernaut Electric Cherry augment as well as the regular Elemental augment here, where we have Reloading creates an electric damage discharge that damages and stuns nearby normal enemies. The emptier the magazine, the stronger the damage. So that's very interesting. I don't think that Electric Cherry ever worked that way in any of the previous games. So Elemental Pop giving Electric Cherry that major glow up right there. We have minor augments, Vulnera Bean, slightly increase enemy elemental weakness damage. Pineapple Blast, equipment can also trigger a random ammo mod. Chill Berry, slightly reduce all ammo mod cooldown. So like if you were to pair Citrus Focus, which is if a weapon has an ammo mod applied, Elemental Pop will only activate that one. Let's say you only have Deadwire and you have the major augment Citrus Focus there, and then you equip it with a minor augment of Chill Berry. You're basically getting Deadwire every 3 seconds, which is crazy to me. So there's some OP strategies that can be done with some of these augments. Next up, we have PhD Flopper. Of course, we know Explosive Dive to Prone and immunity to self-inflicted explosive damage is its base abilities, but with the major augments here, we have Gravity MD. Just falling from heights creates the explosive damage. We have Dr. Ram, Tactical Sprint knocks down and damages base zombies, and then we have PhD Flighter, sliding into enemies triggers explosions. So it's not going to be based on like, oh, I slid so it creates the explosion behind me, or I dolphin dove. It's basically going to be whether or not you run it as an augment. So very interesting there. For the minor augments on PhD, we have Environmentalist, become immune to environmental damage when sliding. We have EOD Technician, slightly reduce height and distance requirements for explosions. And we have Tri-Bologist. I don't know if I can say that right. Sliding distance and speed are increased. So if you want to run PhD Slider like it was in Cold War, you have to run the PhD Slider augment as well as that last minor augment right there. And for the last perk, we have Melee Macchiato. It is to replace your weapon gun butt animation with a deadly punch. We already knew that. Here come the augments. We have Espresso. All melee attacks are slightly faster, so could be really OP if you've got a nice knife in your arsenal. Vampiric Extraction. Melee attacks heal a small amount of your health. We already saw that with one of the upgrades in Cold War. Triple Shot. Your punch can hit multiple enemies at once. Okay, so this is where it can get really OP for Melee Macchiatos. If you're running Triple Shot, especially if you're hitting like 3 or 4 zombies at once with your punch and then it just knocks them all back, it could really become kind of like an Origins Thunder Fist situation. For the minor augments, we have Stick and Move. Backpedal speed is increased after successful melee attacks. Strength Training. Your punch can one-hit kill normal enemies for longer. nice, so it's just an upgrade there on how long your melees will hit. And then you have Hidden Impact, which melee kills reload a portion of your held weapon. So again, very interesting minor augments there. I was a little confused today before seeing all this on the augment system and how things were going to work, but this is really, really dope, and I think it's going to add a lot of replayability, and this is way, way better than the permanent upgrade system in Cold War, because, I mean, now you have to choose and make some decisions rather than just be like, oh, tier 5, I have everything unlocked. You know, now you really have to pick and choose in the menu before you get into these. So, of course, the 5 ammo mods at launch are going to be Brain Rot, Cryo Freeze, Deadwire, Napalm Burst, and Shadow Rift. Here come the augments. I can only imagine how OP these are going to get. Now, before we get into these, actually, okay, so for the progression, this is when you'll unlock things. So Deadwire is unlocked at 0. You'll always have Deadwire no matter what after you prestige. Deadwire will be the base ammo mod for this year. At level 6, you'll unlock Napalm Burst. At level 14, you'll unlock Cryo Freeze. Level 27, you'll unlock Brain Rot, and then at 44, you'll unlock Shadow Rift. And Shadow Rift is the new one, which appeared to be kind of OP in the trailer and in the gameplay. So it'll be very interesting to see if it's actually that good, and like you really need to get Shadow Rift, and it's something that you could waste a permanent unlock token on when you're prestiging. So first up, we have Brain Rot. Obviously, we know what that does. Basically just changes zombies into friendlies. Major augments here. We have Plague. The charmed enemy has a chance to turn other enemies. So like the VR11 from MWZ right there. We have Pheromone. The charmed enemy distracts nearby normal and special enemies for a short time. Then we have Big Game. Brain Rot can charm elite enemies. So Big Game would be so cool. I wonder if you could do this with, obviously, like a Mangler, but could you imagine turning an Abomination to just like run over a whole horde of zombies? So this Brain Rot might be really OP on Liberty Falls if it does in fact turn Abominations. For the minor augments, we have Extension. Brain Rot duration is slightly increased. Haste, the cooldown is slightly reduced. And Explosive, which charmed enemies explode at the end of their Brain Rot duration, dealing toxic damage. Again, this is half of these effects are literally the VR11 from MWZ, and the VR11 was very, very effective as a wonder weapon. Next up, we have Cryo Freeze. We all know what this does. Cryo Freeze bullets deal frost damage. Major augments, we have Big Game. Cryo Freeze can slow elite enemies. Ice Cloud, enemies that are killed while frozen may leave a cloud that slows enemies. Definitely a cool upgrade there. And then Frozen Stiff, enemies are frozen in place. So this could be really OP with Frozen Stiff. For the minor augments, we have Extension, slightly increase the slow duration. Freezer Burn, slightly increase damage to frozen enemies. Liquid Nitrogen, significantly increases your chance for Cryo Freeze to activate. So that could be really, really OP with Elemental Pop right there, if Cryo Freeze is actually good rather than it just freezing them in place. Up next, everybody's favorite Deadwire. Bullets deal electrical damage. The major augments for Deadwire are Chain Lightning. The stunned enemy can spread to other enemies. So this is like the original Deadshot from Cold War. If you guys remember that, it was like basically a Wonder Waff effect. Looks like it's coming back as a major augment. Big Game Deadwire can stun elite enemies. We've seen this one. It seems like a lot of these AATs, the major augments, are literally just working on the elite zombies. And we have Lightning Strike. A bolt of lightning strikes from above, stunning all normal and special enemies in that area. Holy shit, that is really OP. So again, Deadwire unlocked at level 0. If you're just starting out, you're definitely going to want to run the major augments Lightning Strike for Deadshot there. Minor augments, we have High Voltage. Deadwire deals slightly more damage. Haste, Deadwire cooldown slightly reduced. Extension, the stun and electric field lasts longer. Onto Napalm Burst, deal fire damage, basically just Deadwire probably, but with fire. We have Big Game. Napalm Burst can turn elite enemies. This is, I think every single one of these has the same major augment here, with Big Game as one of them. Thermite increases burn effect damage. Firebomb, burned enemies explode on death, spreading the fire to nearby enemies. This is like the Black Ops 4 ability for Firebomb. For the minor augments, we have Extension. Again, increased burn duration. Incendiary, each damage tick has a small chance to spread to a nearby enemy. And then Contact Burn, initial burn effect deals more damage. So you can really make some of these really OP. And then here is the new one everybody wants to know about, Shadow Rift. Bullets deal shadow damage. Each bullet has a chance to spawn a black hole on a normal or special enemy, warping away those nearby and dropping some from the air at a lethal speed. So this sounds like it could be the most OP one. This is the one you'll unlock at the highest level that you can possibly unlock these alternate ammo types at level 44. We already know what this thing, I mean, this is looking like it could be really OP. So with the major augments, we have Big Game. Shadow Rift can, okay, again, Big Game is on every single one of these, just the affects elite enemies. Topple Danger, warp one enemy that deals shadow damage to others. And Explosive Rain, enemies that are dropped from portals will explode on contact with the ground. Okay, so that could be not only really funny, but like super, super dope too in terms of its damage ability there with the Explosive Rain. For the minor augments, we have Haste. Again, the cooldown's reduced. Targeted dropped enemies will fall on other enemies. So, okay, so if you pair Explosive Rain with Targeted, this could get really, really OP if it does a ton of damage. And then we have Supermassive. The Singularity Lethal's radius is increased and can kill more enemies. So again, looking like if you're going to run this one. Explosive Rain and Target are the best two to run. Rounding us out here with the augments. God, there's so much information in this blog post. And not only so much information, but so much content for us to explore once the game officially drops. We have the 5 field upgrades that will be at launch: Ether Shroud, Frenzied Guard, Dark Flare, Healing Aura, and Energy Mine. Again, here we are with the progressions and where you'll unlock them. Energy Mine at 0. Level 0, you spawn in with that, of course. I'm not surprised they made Energy Mine the default. Frenzied Guard at level 9, Dark Flare at level 20, Healing Aura at 33, Ether Shroud at 47. Ether Shroud might be OP. It is the first one up here in the blog post. The major augments for Ether Shroud: nearby players are also cloaked. So that could be super OP in the boss fight. If you just like pop this, all your buddies are next to you and you all are suddenly hidden for the duration time here. Burst Dash, warp forward a short distance, killing all normal enemies in your path. So not only does this work like the original Ether Shroud from Cold War, where you could like burst forward, but it actually kills the zombies that you blow through. I don't think it worked like that in Cold War. Rounding out the major augments, we have Void Sheath. Swap your dedicated melee weapon, and it's imbued with Dark Ether energy. Kills allow you to stay in the Ether Shroud for longer. So that is a really interesting mix-up here for Ether Shroud. Basically, you pull out a melee weapon, and the more you kill with the melee weapons, the more you'll stay hidden in Ether Shroud. For the minor augments, we have activation instantly reloads your currently held weapon. That's pretty cool. Increases max charges by 1. Okay, wow. So again, there it is. 2 charges for Ether Shroud. Then we have extension. Ether Shroud duration is significantly increased. So you're going to have to really pick here how you want to run Ether Shroud, whether you want to make it more of a defensive field upgrade or if you want to go on the offensive with it. Here's the new field upgrade for the game: Dark Flare. Generate an energy beam that deals lethal shadow damage and penetrates everything in its path. The major augments for Dark Flare: extension, significantly increase the duration of Dark Flare. Supernova. The beam is replaced with a sphere that damages nearby enemies and travels. The ball detonates at the end of Dark Flare's durability. This is really going to be the offensive one right here. I think this is going to be the offensive juggernaut this year. Then we have Dark Pact. The beam heals and revives other players on contact. So a lot of these field upgrades, at least two of the 5 so far, have more of your offensive and defensive capabilities depending on how you're going to play. I'm sure if you're playing solo, you're going to want the offensive capabilities. If you're in co-op, you're probably going to play more defensive. And then for the minor upgrades, we have Broad Beam, which significantly increases the size of the beam. Heavy Shadow. The beam slows enemies on contact. And Extra Charge increases your max charge by 1. I wonder if each of these have a minor one of increasing your chances at getting it again. For Frenzied Guard, obviously repair armor and force all enemies into an area temporary to target you. Okay, so this is like in plain sight, basically, where all the zombies will all attack you here. We have Phalanx. I think that's how you say that. Teammates can also repair armor from kills near you. Okay, so cool. So if you pop this, your teammates will be able to repair armor if you're running Phalanx as a major upgrade. Retribution triggers an explosion on activation. Normal enemies that melee the players are damaged and knocked down, so pretty much everybody but the elite zombies. And then Frenzy Fire. When frenzied, use ammo from its stock. Pretty cool there. Again, Frenzied Guard doesn't sound like it's been really too OP. Not many people probably going to be running this one. The minor augments here: Repair Boost, repair more armor per kill. Extension, increased Frenzied Guard duration. Rally on activation, repair all nearby enemies' armor to full. So, you know, not too bad. Kind of an MWZ one right there. Next up, we have Healing Aura. Heal all players nearby immediately. Major augments: Resilience. All affected players have their health regeneration delay reduced and the rate of their healing increased temporarily. Enduring Radiance. The beams and their healing effects persist for a short amount of time after leaving the area of effect. And Persistence. Revived players will keep all their perks on their bleed out bar. Again, super good here. Basically the same augment as Quick Revive, but definitely really dope here if you're going to be playing co-op. And then for the minor augments, we have Inner Strength. Affected player damage is slightly increased for a short amount of time. Protection. Healed players have damage slightly mitigated for a short amount of time. Stoic Presence. On activation special, and elite enemies are stunned while normal enemies are knocked down. So that one's actually a pretty good offensive one for Healing Aura there. And then the last one we have here, Energy Mine. Obviously, we know what this does if you've been playing either of the last 2 CODs. The first major augment here is Scatter. The energy mine will split into 3 mines that scatter and detonate 1 time each. Turret. Instead of a mine, deploy a turret that shoots at nearby enemies. Okay, so that could be really OP if the turret is good in terms of its damage. And then we have Carousel, which 3 energy mines will float around you, detonating when an enemy is nearby. That one's almost like the Dead Ops arcade one, where you have those like barrels that are circling around you and detonate when some zombie hits you. For the minor augments, we have Frequency Boost, increased the detonation count and duration of energy mines. Extra Charge, increased max charges by 1. Siren. Energy mines now Energy Mine now attracts nearby normal enemies for a short time, so that's actually pretty cool, like mini monkey bombs there. Next up on the blog post, we have the loadout updated. Here you can see all of the loadout stuff that you'll be able to bring in here. Really cool the way the menu looks. It's basically like the multiplayer menu, but of course, zombies going on here. We have your tactical, your lethal. You'll be able to choose those in the menu, which is very interesting but cool. You have your melee ability, your field upgrade, and of course the Gobblegum pack, which I probably have a lot to get into with the Gobblegums. Moving on to the last piece of information here, we have every single confirmed Gobblegum coming at Season 1, as well as the ones that you unlock. I wonder if these ones that you unlock are permanent. So it says it's a one-time use thing, but it looks like this is very interesting. Let me go ahead and read this for you guys really quickly. So we have recap here. Gobblegums come in a variety of rarities, rare, epic, legendary, and ultra, with the general rule that the higher the rarity, the more powerful the effect of the Gobblegum. There are some whimsical gums returning as well. As discussed in previous blog posts, Gobblegums are single-use power-ups that are chosen and kept in your loadout. Packs of 5 are brought into each match based on the Gobblegums that you've unlocked and or collected. Additional Gobblegums are earned in a variety of ways, including simply by killing zombies, surviving rounds, or by store purchases. Here's a complete list of all the Gobblegums available to earn at launch. So these are all of the ones you'll be able to unlock. I don't know how this is going to work, dude. I don't know if you're getting like one when you hit this level, or if you're able to craft that, because like all right, let me just explain this. So at level 5 you'll unlock Killjoy, at level 8 you'll unlock Stock Option, 11 Who's Keeping Score, 15 Cashback, 21 Anywhere But Here, 23 Exit Strategy, which is a new one, 26 Soda Fountain, 29 Profit Sharing, 32 Wall-to-Wall Clearance, 36 Free Fire, 38 On the House, level 42 Nowhere But Here, 45 Idolize, Wonder Bar at 51, and Hidden Power at 54. I want to know, like, specifically how these work, and they get into like what these do here obviously in the rest of this blog post, but like initial reaction is like, how are you going to make Wonder Bar an unlockable gum at 51? Like, can you just have infinite, like once you hit level 51 you now have basically infinite Wonder Bars, so you can get a Wonder Weapon pretty much anytime you want out of the mystery box? Like, that's very interesting. We're gonna get into that, but like I'm not sure I understand how the unlock system here with the gums work. I do know for a fact that you'll get a lot of these just based on playing the game, leveling up. They'll pop up on your screen every couple of rounds, but like at 51, if you have basically infinite Wonder Bars, that is going to be so broken and probably push people away from prestiging, at least for the first foreseeable future. But that's a very, very interesting choice right there. But we're going to get into these. So for the rare Gobblegums, we have Stock Option. We know what that does. Anywhere But Here, Temporal Gift, Shields Up, Killjoy, Cashback, and Arsenal Accelerator. I'm only going to go over the ones that are new that we haven't seen before in either Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4 or been detailed before. For the epic Gobblegums, we have Who's Keeping Score, Nowhere But Here, Profit Sharing, Exit Strategy. Exit Strategy is a new one, and activate exfil vote immediately, so reduce zombie spawns during exfil. So not only like on a random round, because I think you're only able to exfil every 5 rounds, you'll be able to call that in an exfil immediately. So if you have to leave for whatever reason, you don't want to save and quit, or you're in a multiplayer game, you can call in an Exit Strategy, immediately exfil, and there won't be any zombies or minimal zombies at the exfil site. Free Fire, Soda Fountain, Respin, Cycle, round out the epics. For the legendary gums, we have Idolize, Phoenix Up, On the House, Immolation, Liquidation, Wall Power, Crate Power, Wall-to-Wall Clearance. Not one we haven't seen before here in the legendary gums. They're all very useful though. And then of course we have everybody's favorite, the Ultra Gobblegums, the new red ones. We have Near Death Experience, Wonder Bar. Wonder Bar guarantees a hit of the mystery box immediately. Let me see how this one works. So hold on. So we have Wonder Bar. The next weapon from the mystery box will be a Wonder Weapon. It doesn't say how this works, so I'm assuming at level like 51 or whenever you unlock Wonder Bar, you'll be able to just equip this to your pack, and it's one that's basically like a free gum. So it's not like you use it and then you lose it kind of situation, you know. It seems to me, and I could be wrong here, that like once you have Wonder Bar, you have it for, it's like basically a base gum that you can use, which is very interesting. I wonder if it's like 1 per game or 2 per game or what, but it's very interesting that like a Prestige Master, you could literally run Wonder Bar in every single game, get the Wonder Weapon immediately out of the box if you choose to. Like, that's very, very OP. I'm sure there might be some sort of caveat to it, but it's very interesting that like that is an unlockable gum. So for you, they're saying Gobblegums are pay to win. Literally free Wonder Weapon out of the box at level 51. You can get a free Gobblegum that does that for you. Of course, we have Perk-a-Cola. We all know what that does, Raindrops. Hidden Power will upgrade whatever weapon you have to Legendary, so that one's super OP. You can literally get a triple pap weapon immediately. Going to be interesting when Shopping Free comes into the mix in Season 1. We have Newtonian Negation and Indigestion, which are just like 2 whimsical gums. Obviously, they don't really do too much there. But guys, that is really it for this blog post. Everything else is like in-game, like regular menu stuff, progression and zombies, intel access, challenges, customization. I'm wondering if they're going to detail any sort of this was a 40-minute recording of my voice. Obviously, it'll be edited down, but it might still be like a 25, 30-minute video on this entire blog post. This is definitely longer than the initial one that we got and has way juicier information than the stuff that we got originally. Like, this is pretty much everything in the game is out there now, detailed in these blog posts. I'm super glad they're doing these. I haven't seen anybody's reaction to any of this on Twitter yet, or leave your guys' stuff in the comments below and we'll chat, we'll go over this stuff. I haven't seen any, like, previous information on this from anybody, so I wonder how the community is reacting to this. Everything seems super positive. Again, the two biggest changes today were the Liberty Falls skybox as well as the HUD, both super amazing changes that I think work really, really well for this. I'm very excited for them and to see how this all looks at launch. Again, shout out to Treyarch for detailing all this stuff for us. They didn't have to do that. They don't have to put these blog posts out there, but the communication has been spot on this year for the marketing and leading up into Black Ops 6 Zombies. I'm super hyped for next Thursday, guys. If you are too, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Black Ops 6 Zombies content. We'll be doing guides, everything when this game drops. Very interested again to see how Wonder Bar is going to work. If it is indeed literally like you unlock this at 51, can use a permanent unlock and you have it forever. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on, and in the comments below, let me know if you're excited or not for Black Ops 6 Zombies. Have a good rest of your day. We'll be seeing you guys very, very soon.